Good morning, yogis. It's a wonderful sunny morning out there. As always, this class is going to be a nice, gentle stretch, wake up, and prepare you for your Sunday, which is hopefully going to be nice and relaxing. Hi to everyone who's watching live. Hi, Auntie Di. I know you're watching. I can't see you, just in case you start talking to me again. And hi, Mom. I know you're watching as well. You're joining in this morning. So, and hello, everybody else. We'll come down. We'll come onto our backs to begin. And as always, just come in to wherever feels comfortable on your back. You can come in this position if you want knees pointing to the ceiling. You can come into your reclined Baddha Konasana, or you can just come into a Shavasana kind of position. So whatever feels good in your body right now. And let's close the eyes. And let's scan the body. So from the crown of the head all the way down, and just looking for any tension. And just allowing that tension to melt. So softening through the forehead, the eyebrows, the eyes, cheeks, and continuing all the way down the body. Just becoming aware of the body. Noticing how the body feels. Noticing the mind state this morning, whether busy or quiet, whether stressed or relaxed. And bringing your awareness to your breath. And noticing the quality of your breath this morning. And let's take a few deep inhales into your abdomen. And then just return to normal breathing for a moment. Noticing now if you feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more relaxed. Or maybe you feel sensations in your body. And taking those few deep breaths. And now we'll begin to activate our Ujjayi breath. We're just starting to deepen that breath again. Drawing the breath down into the abdomen, up into the chest, up into the shoulders. And as you exhale, shoulders relax, chest relaxes, the abdomen falls. And maybe starting to breathe with sound. That Ujjayi breath is very important in the yoga practice. The constriction in the back of the throat helps to slow the breath. It helps to warm the breath as well as we draw the air into the lungs. And the sound acts like a mantra, keeping you focused on the breath and on your own practice. Keeping you in the present moment and preventing the mind from wandering off. And as we move through this gentle class this morning, remember it's just about connecting to your inner space. So not pushing too hard, just allowing yourself to be. We'll bring the legs together. If we took them out to the side, let's straighten the legs now. Feet together and take the arms overhead for a nice deep stretch. And draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Let's take the arms out to a T. And we'll take the legs over to the left slightly. Inhale to come back through center. Exhale to the right. Just draw the navel towards the spine and try to pull the lower back to the mat as you come over. Inhale to come back through. Exhale to the left. Inhale back through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale through center. You don't need to go too deep. Exhale to the left. We're starting to switch on the core. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right. Inhale, come back through center and give yourself a squeeze. Let's interlace the fingers in front of the right shin, and the left leg straight. And let's hover that left leg just above the mat. If you can, lift the shoulders up at the same time here. Again, we're starting to switch on that core a little bit. Inhale. And exhale, let's switch legs. And again, just keeping those shoulders up if you can. Keep pressing that lower back into the mat. Maybe you can feel that fire now, that agony in the abdomen. One more breath here. And inhale, switch legs. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale, switch legs. Exhale, switch legs. Inhale, switch legs. Exhale, switch legs. Keep it going. If it gets too much, you can lower the shoulders down at any point. One more round each side. And inhale, draw knees into the chest. And release. Let's just make some rotations with those hips. So hands on the knees. Nice big movements through those hips. Noticing how they feel. And let's rotate the opposite way. And keep those deep Ujjayi breaths going. And draw knees back in. Let's plant the left foot, let's send the right foot high. So as always, just check that that tailbone is tucked under and nicely connected to the mat here, really grounded. The left foot pressing into the mat. Interlace fingers behind the back of the thigh or the calf, or you can take the foot here as we just release into the back of that right leg. Option to make some rotations with that right ankle. And taking the rotations the opposite way. And again, just noticing. Now point the toe away from you. Really stretch through the front of that foot, the front of the leg. And flex the ankle now. Toes back towards the body. Again, you'll feel the stretch more through the back of the leg here. Just applying a little bit more pressure to the back of that leg. If you feel that it's loosened up a little bit here. Option to straighten the left leg if you're going well. Let's bring left hand onto the left hip. And let's open that leg to the right. Just cradle that right leg as you open it up. Just be mindful that the hips don't start to tip. So keep the hips square to the ceiling. Use that left hand to pin that left leg down. Just working into that inner groin. And then inhale, bring that right leg back through center. Take the right arm out to the side. If you can, take hold of the outside of the leg. If you can reach the foot, take the foot. And we're just going to draw that right leg over and coming into a nice little twist. And dropping the head over to the right. And keeping those deep breaths going. Don't forget to breathe. Inhale, draw that leg back through center. And exhale, bend both knees, hug them in. And we'll try exactly the same on the left side. So drop that right foot to the mat and straighten the left leg towards the ceiling. And again, interlace fingers behind the calf or the thigh, or you can take foot. Nice and relaxed through the shoulders. And again, making rotations with that left foot if it feels good. Just nice and aware what you can feel in your body right now, where you feel your tension. And let's point the toes. Again, just stretching through the top of the foot here. And flex the ankle. And again, just noticing the change in where you feel the tension. And again, providing a little bit more assist from the hands. If you feel that tension is released a little bit in that left leg, straighten the right leg if you're going well. If you're straightening that right leg again, notice the change. And we'll take the right hand onto that right hip. The left hand cradles the outside of that left leg as we open the leg out to the side. And again, just be mindful that those hips don't start to tip. If you're going well, option to move the hand onto the top and just provide a little bit more pressure to that leg, just to open into that hip a little bit more. Stay nice and strong through that right leg. Inhale, bring the leg back through center. And again, option to take hold of the outside of the left leg. You can have the knee bent as well here, it doesn't really matter. The left arm goes out to the side. Or again, if you're going well, you're reaching towards that foot. And we're twisting. And dropping the head over to the left. So nice release for the spine. And inhale, draw the leg back through center. And exhale, draw both knees into the body. Give yourself a squeeze. Let's bring the hands onto the backs of the thighs. And we'll rock forwards and backwards, come into a seated position. Sitting nice and tall. So let's move through some spinal movements as always. Again, you can sit on a block here, you can sit on a blanket, a bolster, whatever feels good. If your knees are really, really high, it's always good to just try to drop the knees lower than the hips. Hands on the knees. Inhale, send the heart forward, open the chest, shoulders away from the ears. And exhale, round through the spine, chin comes to the chest. Inhale, heart forward. Find extension through your spine. Then exhale, round in. Chin comes to the chest. Inhale, moving forward, heart opens. Then lift the chin, see if you can feel a stretch through the throat here. Then exhale, round in. Two more, inhale. Exhale. One more round, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Let's bring left hand onto the mat. Inhale, right arm high. And exhale, a little bit of side flexion. So again, just keep rooting down through that right sit bone. Option to bring the elbow to the mat if you're going well. Just stay nice and strong through that right arm. And just working on feeling that opening to that side body. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, taking it to the other side. Inhale, left arm high. Exhale, side flexion. And try to keep the chest nice and open here to the top of the mat, so that we're not starting to collapse. If you start to collapse, just come up a little bit higher. And again, use that left sit bone. So it's not all about leaning over. We're trying to pull everything away from each other, opposing forces. Inhale, coming back up. And exhale, let's take a twist. Right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind the back. Inhale, find your length. And exhale, twisting. And gazing over the left shoulder. Deep breaths into your upper back. Use that breath to create space. And inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, taking it to the other side. And then inhale, coming back through center. Exhale, release. Let's take the arms up. And those of you that were with me last week, you're like, oh no, not this one. Don't worry, we're not going to stay here too long. Just reach in, just to draw some energy into the upper back, into the shoulders. And my auntie Di, I don't know if you're watching, you love this one. She says she's been doing it all week. Let's turn the hands down, so fingers point down and press through the wrists. And flex the wrist opposite way. Press through the heels of the hands. Inhale in. And exhale. Bring hands onto the shoulders. And let's just make some rotations with those shoulders. So finding, again, that full range of motion. Bringing the elbows towards each other as you come through. Inhale to bring those elbows up. Exhale to bring them down. One more this way. Inhale. Exhale. And going the opposite way. Inhale. Exhale. Elbows come back together. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And find that full range. Exhale. Shoulder blades in and down the back. And release. Hands to the knees. Let's just shake it out a little bit here. Let's straighten the legs. Let's come into a little forward fold. Find length through your spine. And exhale as you fold forward. Let's keep the hands back. So we're not forcing here. So just trying to move that heart forward towards the feet. Remember, it doesn't matter how deep you get. I remember it's the start of the day, it's the start of the class, so we don't want anything too crazy. Have a wiggle around if that feels good here. And inhale to come back up. Exhale, let's bend the right knee. Flex the right ankle, lift the foot up. So you're going to allow your pelvis to tip backwards a little bit here. So we're going to be a little bit like this. It makes it a little bit easier on the hips. So keep that navel in, but the pelvis is tipped back a little bit. Now, so rock the cradle. Option one is just to hold the foot here. If you're really tight in the hips, just support that lower leg and you're just going to rock from side to side. If you're going well, maybe you're bringing that foot up a little bit closer to the chest, the head, and you're here. Or you're bringing that foot into the crease of the left elbow. We're taking the right hand around the outside of the leg and interlacing the fingers. And maybe you're here. And again, just working into that right hip. Just loosening up. Just keep this left leg nice and relaxed, nice and floppy. And releasing, let's drop that right foot on top of the left thigh, just above that knee. If it's too much, as always, you can come into your Janushasana position with the foot inside of that left leg. Otherwise, we're here. Let's find a little bit of length through our spine. So again, heart forward, and let's start to lean forward over that right leg. Just working the outer right hip. Now you can engage this leg if you wish. Start to work into the back of that left leg. Pull the toes back to the body. Soft shoulders, soft face. Again, no tension. If you start to tense up, just pull back from the posture a little bit here. And inhale, coming up. Exhale, let's take a little twist. Just drawing your chest down just outside of that left leg. You can hold the left foot with the right hand if you wish. And keep sending that right knee down. You're just working into the side body and into that right hip a little bit more. And then coming back to center. Again, if you're really tight in the hips, maybe just stay here and just work into those hips a little bit more. Otherwise, take the hands behind the back and start to bend that left knee. And maybe you're here, maybe there's not much bend in that left knee. Maybe that's your limit. Otherwise, try to keep the chest open by using those hands, pressing them into the mat, and just bring that left foot into the point that feels good for you. So not too crazy. And again, it's just going to increase that stretch in that right hip. And again, option to be here in stillness, option to just move from side to side. And again, just noticing what's happening, noticing your tension. Are you really tight in the hips? Do you need to do a little bit more work outside of the practice on those hips? Or are you really open in the hips? And do you need to do a little bit more work to build strength around the hip joints as well? Let's bring left hand behind the back just to counterbalance us. Bring the right hand up and see if we can take hold of the foot. And again, if the leg's straight, this is fine. Again, we're just coming into another twist here. So just open the chest up, left side of the mat and gaze over left shoulder. You can take foot, you can take knee. If you're going well, maybe hooking elbow onto the bottom of that foot and pressing elbow into the foot. Foot pushes back into the elbow as we twist. Couple more breaths here. And keep working. And inhale, releasing that foot and straightening those legs out again. Give the legs a shake. Again, just tuck that tailbone under. Just make sure legs are floppy. You notice the difference in the hips. Maybe one hip feels nice now, other one not so great. We're going to work on it. Bending the left knee, flexing that left ankle, and bringing that foot up. And again, just taking whatever variation feels good as we come into that rock the cradle. So you're here maybe this is you. And this is fine. This was me at one point as well. Ridiculously tight hips. Otherwise, you're bringing that foot up a little bit closer into the chest. You're supporting the knee, supporting the ankle, or you're hooking the sole of the foot into that right elbow and interlacing fingers. And again, we're just rocking. Rocking the cradle, rocking your baby. That's a weird posture. If you've been in my classes, this makes me smile when the class is doing this. It just looks super weird, like everyone's got a child that they're rocking in their arms. But it's so nice, so good for opening the hips, really nice open. Before you do any deep kind of hip stretches, this is a really good posture to do, especially if you're tight in the hips. This is wonderful. And releasing, let's drop that left foot just above the right knee. So again, maybe No, we are here. We're all here. Or we're here with the foot on the inside of that right knee, right thigh. Inhale, find length. And exhale. I'm just moving forward. And think of pulling the hips back. So we really want to try to be finding length through our spine here. So remember, it's not about how deep you get. You could be here and still feel the work in your left hip if you're working properly, if you're thinking of drawing hips back and sending heart forward. And sometimes it's not about looking like you're going deep. Just the subtlest movements in the body can really change the stretch in the body. And breathe. And just remember to keep this left ankle flexed. Just support that left knee as we're using the leg as a bit of a lever here. And deep breathe in. Remember to ujjayi breathe and breathe into that left hip. And lifting the gaze, coming up, hands behind the back. Again, chest nice and open. And again, option 1 to stay there if you're really tight. Option 2, let's start to bend that right knee and bring that heel towards the body. Stop when your body says stop. And if you have any pain in that left knee, please don't go so deep. Just be here if there's pain in that knee. It really isn't worth pushing the knees. And you can rock if you wish here. Maybe it's a little bit intense for you. Maybe you're like, this is okay. We can cope with this. And again, just settling. Let's bring the right hand a little bit further behind the back to counterbalance us. And we're coming into that twist. So again, you're taking the knee, you're taking the foot. If you're going well, you're hooking elbow onto the bottom of that foot and twisting, gazing over your right shoulder, working into the upper back. So I said before, this is a great variation for Marichiyasana D in Ashtanga Primary Series, because you're working into your hip opening and you're working into your twist at the same time. So a really nice variation. And one more breath here. And exhale, release. Let's give those legs a shake. Swing the legs around. Coming on to all fours. Let's check our bandhas around. Tuck the tailbone, draw the pelvic floor up, draw the navel to the spine. Let's tuck toes under and send hips back and up as we find our first downward facing dog. And as always, feeling free to pedal through the legs here, moving the body. Again, just your chance now to explore. Explore what feels nice in your body. Explore areas that you may not have gotten to in the previous postures. Feet are hips width apart. Find length through your spine. Bend the knees if you need to. Remember, find that flat back. And walk the hands towards the feet. And we'll find a forward fold. Take in ragdoll. So bend the knees as much as you need to. Take hold of opposite elbows. Soften the neck. And an option to rock from side to side. Maybe bend in with one knee, bend into the other. Maybe keeping the legs pretty straight and making it more of a side body motion. And whatever feels good. Let's release the elbows, just allow the arms to be floppy, and we're going to roll up to standing.
So rolling like a rag doll, unwinding the spine vertebra by vertebra as we come up through the lower back, through the mid back, the upper back, and the neck. Let's roll the shoulders open, chest open, feet are still hips width apart. Inhale, let's raise the arms, find them, and exhale, take them wide. Inhale, coming back up. Gaze it up. Exhale. You really think of pulling the shoulder blades in towards each other and down the back. Inhale, take the arms up. Find that extension through your spine. Exhale. Drawing those hands down. Inhale. And exhale. This time we're going to fold forward. Subtle knee bend, folding forward from the hips. Coming into your forward fold. Inhale, find length through your spine. Maybe you're here, fingertips, maybe you're here. And exhale, planting your hands. We'll walk those hands forward and find our downward facing dog again. Option at any point in your downward dog to drop to your knees. And looking forward. So we're going to try to bring this right foot through in between the hands if it's available. You can swing the leg to the outside of the hand. That can be helpful. If you've been practicing that compression strength, you're going to lift that right knee up. Try to pull the right thigh in as close to the chest as you can. Round through the spine. Shift the shoulders forward and then try to drop that foot between the hands. So we're in a low lunge position. If you don't make it like that, no worries. You can use blocks. Blocks either side of the foot can really help just get that foot forward. But again, this is something that comes with time. The core strength, flexibility in the hips as well can sometimes prevent us getting that foot through. So wherever you're at, it's all good. If you need to put that knee down to bring the foot forward, go ahead and do so. And let's stay here. So option to drop that back knee, option to keep it lifted. Just working through the hips, sending the heart forward. And really trying to drop those hips nice and low. So feel that work through the front of that left hip. Maybe you can feel it in that right hip flexor as well. And now drop that knee if you haven't yet done so. We'll bring the top of that back foot onto the mat. And we'll work into our low lunge, our lazy low lunge a little bit more here. So keeping that right knee over the ankle. Maybe you're coming up now. Think of tucking your tailbone under and finding that nice stretch through that left hip. Soften shoulders. Let's inhale, reach the arms high. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. And inhale, draw the shoulder blades together, open through the chest, send the heart forward. And just think of taking that fist down the inside of the back leg. Keep squaring your chest off to the front of the mat. Stay nice and grounded through that right foot. So pressing that right foot into the mat. The more you can press that right foot down, the more you're going to feel it in that left hip. And release hands. Bring hands onto the mat or onto the blocks either side of that right leg. And we'll make our way into our half splits. So straightening that right leg. Option to keep the toes pointed. Option to flex through that right ankle if you want a little bit more in the back of that leg.
And again, we can be on blocks here, either side of the body. This is all good. Inhaling. And as you exhale, if it's available, round your spine. And draw the forehead or the chin towards that right leg. Try to relax. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. Soft shoulders. And just check there's no tension through your jaw. And lifting the gaze, we'll come back onto that right foot. So option, let's all come up. Okay, we'll take a little twist and then we have an option to take a quad stretch. If this is enough, don't worry about the quad stretch, but option to do that. So left hand on that right knee and inhale. We'll just reach back with that right hand. Again, just finding that nice twist through the spine. At the same time, keep sinking those hips nice and low. And now option, if it's available, if it's okay in that knee as well. Sometimes it can be painful in the knee. So use a cushion or a towel underneath that left knee if you need to. We're going to bend that left leg, pick the foot up, take hold of the foot. Maybe you're taking the inside of the foot here, just working through those hips, through that quadricep. Maybe you're taking the outside of the foot, opening into the upper back a little bit more. You can use a strap here. Again, if it's too much, just stay where you are with that left foot grounded. And release the foot. We'll bring hands back onto the mat. Let's tuck the back toes under, lift the left knee up. Again, round the spine and just step that right foot back to meet the left, finding that downward dog. Nice and easy. Have a breather. So coming into the left side, so exactly the same. So again, if you're really tight in the hips, you can see if you can bring that left foot around to the outside of the hand and then just heel toe that foot inside. Or you're just trying to pull that left foot forward as much as you can. Maybe it stops here and you have to plant that right knee and then step that left foot forward. Or maybe you're bringing all the way through. And let's lift that right knee up. Again, just check that left knee is over your ankle or just behind. And let's work through the front of the right hip now. We're also getting into those hip flexors in the left hip. And again, we can be on blocks here, either side of the body, if need be. It's nice and strong through that back leg if you can. Again, option to drop the knee here. You can drop the knee already. It's all good. See if you can squeeze that right glute. Really starting to build strength in the hips at the same time as stretching through those hips. An option to add some movement here. Maybe a little spin to the left. I feel this nice in my hips. And we'll drop that back knee now. Bring the top of the foot onto the mat, going into that lazy lunge. And as always, use a towel or a blanket underneath that right knee, or double the mat over if it doesn't feel good. Let's come up onto that left knee. And let's really work those hips nice and low. And again, just feeling where your tension is. Tucking tailbone under a little bit as well, and pressing through that left heel. Let's inhale the arms high. Exhale, interlace fingers behind the back. And inhale, draw that fist down inside of that right leg. Open the chest, maybe lifting the gaze slightly here. Maybe you can go back a little bit more. Maybe you want to come a little bit deeper into this posture, into this heart opener. If it's too much, just come out a little bit. This is all good. And releasing the hands, bringing the hands onto the mat either side of that left foot, or you're using your blocks, and we're making our way into those half splits. So again, easiest variation is with the toes pointed or the top of the foot still on the mat. And again, if you're really tight in the hamstrings, a little bend in the knee, this is all good, as long as you can start to feel that release through the hamstrings. If you're going well, maybe you want to flex that left ankle. And sending the heart forward, pulling the hips back. Keep breathing. You can check in, the jaw hasn't tensed up. And inhaling, exhale, option to fold forward if it feels okay. And again, keep that breath going. Inhale, coming back up, bringing that left foot back onto the mat. Again, working through those hips again, and making our way back up to an upright position. Right hand on that left knee now, and take the left arm back as we make our way into a little twist. Gazing tip of the left hand or just looking back towards the back wall. And at the same time, keep working through those hips. Just check as you come into your twist that you don't start to lift the hips up. You still want to be feeling that stretch through the quadriceps. And again, option to stay here. We can have hand on our hip as well. We can be working here. Or option to lift that right knee up and take hold of the foot. Again, maybe it's the inside, maybe it's the outside, maybe you're using a strap around that foot. Just increasing the stretch through the quads. At the same time, working into the upper back. Let's stay here, one more deep breath. And releasing. Bringing hands back onto the mat. We'll tuck those toes under. Again, round through your spine. And step that left foot back to meet the right. Finding your downward facing dog. Let's move forward into a high plank now. So tucking that tailbone under, finding strength through the core. As always, you can take half plank, drop to your knees. We're going to be coming onto our belly soon. So just try to hold it, wrap the triceps under. Finding strength through the shoulders, strength through the upper back. Inhale. And exhale, lower down. Drop knees, chest, chin all the way down. Or you can come through your chaturanga all the way onto the mat. Making our way into our Sphinx pose. So just working or stretching the front of the body. Elbows on the mat, hands on the mat. And remember the elbows can be slightly more forward than the shoulders if you're feeling pinching in the lower back. Think of working the heart forward and pulling shoulders or shoulder blades down the back. We're going to stay here a few breaths. And just really working into that front body. So the hips are connected to the mat, and then you're trying to find that length, trying to find that stretch, coming from the pubic bone all the way up, through the abs, through the belly button, through the upper abs, through the chest. We'll hold a few more breaths. Try to relax the glutes. So you can drive the feet into the mat. The legs can be strong, but try to relax the glutes here. Just releasing any pressure from the lower back. Again, if it's pinching in the lower back, we don't want that pinching, so come down a little bit. You can be here. Let's take a couple more breaths. See if you can find a little bit more opening through those front ribs, through that chest. And release. Let's take the hands by the side of the chest. We'll press back and we'll make our way into child's pose. Let's bring the knees together, round the spine. Hands can be forward or back in your child's, whatever feels good for you right now. And bringing hands back onto the mat. Let's tuck toes under, send the hips back and up, find our downward facing dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet and roll it up to a standing position. A little bit of balancing before we come into our Shavasana. So we're at the backs of our mats. Let's take the arms up and we're going to take Kali Mudra. So like a little gun, little James Bond gun. I don't know if you can see my hand. Little James Bond gun. So the index finger sticking out, the rest of the fingers wrapped around, and then the thumbs sticking out as well. Reaching those arms nice and high. We'll step the right foot forward. Ground through that right foot and then just start to tip. As you tip, the left foot comes up. Maybe you're on the tippy toe and maybe you're here. This is all good. Otherwise, you're just starting to tip forward. Making sure that the left hip doesn't start to open. Keep driving it down as you make your way into your balance. And we'll stay, if we can. Breathe in for 3. For 2. 1. Inhale, making your way back up. Plant that left foot and step the right foot back to meet the left. Let's release hands. Let's give ourselves a shake. And we'll do the same on the other side. Nothing crazy, nice simple balance this morning. Inhale, raise the arms. You're going to take that Kali Mudra. You can see it. And step that left foot forward. Spread your toes on that left foot, really ground. And again, keep those hips nice and square. As you tip, nice and slowly. You can go as slowly as you need to as you come into this posture. This is just working all the body. So working the back strength, working balance, working flexibility. We'll stay for 3. 2. 1. And inhale, making your way back up. And exhale, stepping that left foot back, releasing the arms. Give the shoulders a shake. Inhale, raise those arms. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, walking those hands forward. Finding your downward facing dog. Let's come into pigeon to finish. Let's bring that right knee onto the mat. So as always, swan pose for your variation. If you are really, really tight in the hip, keep that right knee closed, that left heel by that left groin, and just working those hips forward. Use whatever you need underneath that right hip, that right thigh, if it's lifted, so a block, a cushion. And we can stay here. Our option 1, as always, moving into your pigeon position, more of a pigeon position if you've got a little bit more in your hips. And again, you can stay here. You can be here, releasing and really working strength at the same time as increasing flexibility, or you can rest. Dropping elbows to the mat and dropping head onto a block or onto the hands. Maybe adding movement, maybe finding stillness, whatever your body needs. And coming back up. Let's tuck the back toes under. Lift the left knee up, plant that right foot back down, and bringing that left knee through. So again, taking whatever variation feels good. Taking your swan, that knee closed, nice and supportive, nice and protective for the knee, the swan. Otherwise, you're taking your pigeon. And again, you're using blocks, you're using cushions underneath that left thigh if you need to. And again, flexing that left ankle if you're in your pigeon posture. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're working through those hips. Or you're relaxing onto the elbows. Maybe you're twisting a little bit here. And doing whatever feels good for you right now. Just keep those breaths going. Just really connecting to your body. If the mind wanders off, just catch it if it wanders and draw it back to the posture, draw it back to the practice. And lifting the gaze, making our way back up. This time we'll just swing that right leg around. And bringing our bums into the center of the mat. Let's finish with a little mini Navasana. Shoulders back, hands under the thighs for your option 1. Releasing legs for your option 2, your option 3, your option 4. And let's hold. Last bit of effort. Then it's all over. Then we can rest. Let's keep the breath going. Just check those bandhas are still on. Two more breaths. One more breath. And releasing, feet to the mat. Round through the spine as you make your way down. Feet together, take the arms overhead. Last little stretch. And taking up space with your arms. As we come into Shavasana, bring your feet as wide as your mat. Chest nice and open. Close your eyes. Release your Ujjayi breath now. Return to normal breathing. Again, if you want to cover yourself with a blanket or a hoodie, go ahead and do so. And then just allow your body to melt as you let go of the practice.
Now remember that yoga is just about awareness, just becoming aware, becoming more present. So many of us spend our time in our heads, worrying about the future, or wishing they could change the past. Yoga helps us to remain in the present moment. The more we're in the present moment, the less likely we are to make mistakes. We make bad choices when we don't think about what's going to happen from those choices in the future. I don't believe in right and wrong. I just believe in wise choices and unwise choices. And that doesn't mean that you deny yourself of those guilty pleasures, but you're aware of those pleasures. And you're aware if you find yourself coming off the tracks sometimes, noticing and bringing yourself back onto the tracks of what you consider to be a pleasant life, a good life. So as always, your option to stay in your shavasana a little bit longer if you wish. Just enjoy the relaxation. Or we're going to take a nice deep inhale. And exhale the breath, completely connect the navel to the spine. Inhale the breath into your heart space. Exhale the breath into the fingertips and the toes, starting to wiggle the fingers and toes and bringing movement back to your body. Rotating wrists and ankles, moving the limbs. And bringing feet, legs together, take the arms overhead for a full body stretch. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. And thanking ourselves for showing up on our mats this morning. For giving ourselves time to connect. We'll rock from side to side, rock into our right hand side. And blinking the eyes open and joining me again in a comfortable seated cross-legged position. Hopefully feeling a little bit more open, a little bit more loose around those hips, around the body, and ready now to start your Sunday. Let's bring our hands into Anjali Mudra. We'll finish with the sacred sound Om. We'll chant a mantra that a lot of you are going to know. Ashtanga finishing mantra. Take an inhale. Exhale.
Inhale for Om. Swasti Prajabhyaha Paripalayantam Nyayena Magena Mahi Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyaha Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Sanmangalani Santu Loksha Kalyana Samvredi Rastu Vishvashanti Rastu Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hare Om. Raising your hands to your head for kindness in your thoughts to yourselves and to others, to your heart for kindness in your actions, and to your lips for kindness in your words. From my heart to your heart, always. Namaste. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday morning. Sun is shining, a little bit breezy out there, a little bit chilly, but it's nice to have that sunshine. If nothing else, we've had good weather during this lockdown, haven't we? So that's been positive, and I hope you are finding some positivity in these times, these crazy times. Just appreciating whatever you can appreciate. Just finding stuff to do if you're not working from home. I don't think there's a cupboard that hasn't been cleaned out in my house. The shed's clean. I can't trim any more things in the garden. So yeah, it's a nice time. It's a nice time to just appreciate the freedom that we have, appreciate health, and appreciate each other, appreciate the community that we have as well, and how lucky we are. If you're in the UK and you're watching in the UK, how lucky we are in the UK. Some other countries don't have the support that we have. So I offer peace and love to those people that don't have the support network that we have in this country, and how lucky we are to be born in the UK right now. And at all times, I know we moan a lot about our government. Sometimes we moan a lot about things, but we are so lucky and privileged to live in this country. So yeah, always have gratitude for where you are right now, and try not to moan. Moaning becomes a habit. Try to be positive always, and always try to have peace in your heart. Let's see some messages coming through. Oh, good morning, Rosie. Good morning, Sally. Oh, wonderful. I hope you all enjoyed it. And as always, please like the video. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please share the video with others who you think might enjoy the practice that you've just done this morning. Donate if you're financially stable enough to donate. Otherwise, enjoy for free. I will be back with you 7 p.m. tomorrow evening, and I have now 2 mantra meditations on my channel as well. So if you like mantras, I'll be adding more over the coming weeks as well. So I'll try and add a couple mantras every week. For those of you that like the mantras and you want to do some mantra meditations. So yes. Peace and love, you guys. Stay safe. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Love to you all. Thank you, guys.